Today is October 18th. It's the 292nd day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Today is Necktie Day in Croatia, and it's also celebrated in other parts of the world: Australia, Ireland, Japan, in my studio here. It's a day to honor the necktie, or what we here in the States refer to as a tie. There are a variety of types of ties for a variety of occasions, but all modern ties are ultimately variations of the cravat, which is originally a Croatian men's fashion accessory, a scarf-like neckband that the French take notice of when Croatian mercenaries arrive in France in the 17th century, hired by King Louis XIII to fight one of his battles for him. The French are intrigued by the handsome garment which they call a cravat, their mispronunciation of Croat or Croatian. The French adopt the cravat, and the cravat begets the neckerchief, which begets the necktie and the ascot, which lead to the four-in-hand knot, the bow tie, the Windsor knot, the wide tie, the skinny tie, and all types in between. Cravat Day, or Necktie Day, is first celebrated in Croatia on this day in 2003, organized by the non-profit Academia Cravatica, who wrap a gigantic red necktie around the Roman arena in the city of Pula, Croatia. I mean, a gigantic necktie. It's huge. So join in the celebration of Necktie Day by donning a tie today. I've selected a rather garish kipper tie to match my rodeo chaps. Feel free to follow suit to celebrate Necktie Day on this day. Or you can just do what I do every week, which is celebrate Tie Day Friday. Born on this day in 1897, Isabel Briggs Myers, author, theorist, and co-creator of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator personality test. Myers studies political science in college and graduates from Swarthmore College first in her class in 1919. Like her mother, she is a keen observer of human behavior. Her mother, Catherine Briggs, has been driven since she was young to understand human development and to help people reach their full potential. Together, Catherine and her daughter Isabel come across the ideas of Carl Jung when they read his book Psychological Types, published in 1923. Jung's typological theory is very much in line with what they have been contemplating, and mother and daughter embark on nearly 20 years of type watching to identify different personality types. Though she has no formal training in psychology, Isabel draws up a questionnaire to be used to assess an individual's personality type, what eventually becomes the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the MBTI instrument, the most widely used personality inventory in the world. Myers will later write about the pieces of tremendous luck that result in the creation of the MBTI. The first bit of luck is the family she's born into. Her father is a research physicist who works at the Bureau of Standards. She says of her father, quote, "Research was what he cared about most, and so I grew up thinking that the greatest fun in the world was to find out something that nobody knew yet, and maybe you could dig it out." Another bit of luck, of course, is her mother, Catherine, who grows up as a faculty child. Her father, Isabel's grandfather, is on the faculty of Michigan State, and he educates his daughter, Catherine Briggs, who has no formal schooling until she goes to college. Likewise, Isabel has very little formal schooling until she attends Swarthmore. Of that upbringing, Isabel writes, quote, "I grew all the way up to college with the idea that you can do things without having formally studied them, and that is an ingredient in the history of the type indicator." Yet another bit of luck, what Isabel calls a piece of enormous luck, is when she meets Clarence Myers at Swarthmore. They fall in love and get married. Clarence Myers has a very different personality type from Isabel. The difference in their personalities is so noticeable that it compels Isabel's mother, Catherine, to embark on a project of reading biographies and theories that leads her to discover in 1923 the work of Carl Jung and his book Psychological Types, the catalyst for the Indicator Project that mother and daughter develop into the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. In the 1940s, Isabel takes the lead on their research and development work. During World War II, she works to find a way for people to understand each other rather than destroy each other. The 1950s and 60s sees further refinement of the personality types identified with the MBTI, and by the 1970s, there is increasing appreciation for the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, and it is applied in wider use in universities across the country. In the late 1970s, conferences are held to discuss and refine the MBTI. Myers attends 2 of them in 1975 and 1977, but she's not well enough to travel to the 3rd conference in 1979. As an INFP personality type, Myers is passionate about her ideals, and though supportive of others, she can react strongly if she feels her values are being violated. So naturally, she's concerned about how other researchers may treat her data. She says, quote, "I know intuitive types will have to change the MBTI, that's in their nature, but I do hope that before they change it, they will first try to understand what I did. I did have my reasons." Isabel Briggs Myers, born on this day in 1897, passes away in 1980 at the age of 82. The year before, she says, quote, "I dream that long after I'm gone, my work will go on helping people." There are 74 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. And thanks for sharing the show. I really do appreciate all the retweets and the shares and all that. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Keep it up. Born on this day in 1960, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Belgian martial artist and actor best known as the Muscles from Brussels. A few years ago, he starred in a film called JCVD, in which he plays himself caught up in a bank heist. You gotta see this film. It's so good, and he's so good in it. So if you're still listening, my type is curious. Talk to you tomorrow.